Hello everyone, it's draft season baby, and I have 32 of these bad boys prepared and ready for you just before the draft. Just a reminder, we will be there live for you, covering the draft, streaming, so please join up, buckle up. This is going to be one hell of a ride. I'm very excited to talk about the draft team needs for every single team and what are the prospects that might fill them. We will talk more of that in terms of draft. I have a software ready for you, showing you what the next team is in terms of draft need, what I consider them, who would I take, etc, etc. If I will put together a big board, I will show it with you guys. Leave likes under comments and it will be there by the start of the draft. It's a lot of work, but it's gonna be done. Now, let's start. It's Houston Texans, and this team, it should kind of scare you, because when I was looking through what they are right now, they are a team without a major hole. And they clearly had one of the best defenses in football that we have seen in the last 5 or 7 years. And the scary thing is that defense probably got even better during the offseason. And they have an extra second round pick. So why does not many people actually talk about the Texans? It all comes down to CJ Stroud, because he absolutely freaking imploded in the playoffs, and it was ugly. It was one of the worst playoff performances that we have ever seen. And it's not like you just can replace him right now. A, it's not a great draft year for quarterbacks. B, I mean, you just cannot flash his previous 2 years. First year he was amazing. Second year I thought he actually was even better in terms of doing more with less. But the third year was a spiral. The good thing for the Texans is they have Davis Mills. Whenever he was on the field last year, he was freaking competent. So if it happens again and CJ Stroud is spiraling out of control, they do have a backup plan. And one of the best backups in the league. So this is not a room they will invest. Before the start of the offseason, running back seemed like a clear need. They have tried to mix it with veterans like Joey Mixon. Unfortunately, his foot injury seems to be potentially on the verge of not letting him play again in the football. And Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb was just not Nick Chubb that we know and love. And Woody Marks, I just didn't find him to be an adequate running back. One, they tried to fix this with signing of David Montgomery. 4th round pick, that was rich to me. I felt that was a big overpay. At the same time, this gives you a functional room. It's not the greatest room ever. It doesn't get you excited, but it should get the job done. It should give you a comfortable enough floor that this is a tier 2 need, but not something that you need to specially invest in. Now, the same goes with wide receivers. And there, I think you are even more set up. Because, let's face it, this team has one offensive star. It's not the CJ Stroud. It's Nico freaking Collins. He is one of the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. I would say he just shrank a little bit in eyes of casual fans because CJ Stroud was just not delivering. To me, he's probably like 7th, 8th. We will have Maker regarding wide receivers, so we will dig deep into that. But he is a true alpha, true number 1 for this team. And behind him, you have a pair of rookies from last season, Daniel Noel and Jaden Higgins. Both of them, I felt, show enough promise to be this team 2 and 3. And they also have a wild card, but I will tell you about that one in next seconds. Next, we need to take a look at tight ends, where I felt like maybe this could be a room that would say, well, tier 3 again. Why? Because Dalton Schultz is just a functional tight end. One of these guys that just gives you reasonable enough floor that you can call it a day and say, well, this room is functional. You also have Kate Stover as a developmental piece, and they have brought a cheap veteran in Foster Moreau. So this room, even though it does not get you excited just as a running back room, it is functional. It is going to get the job done. And that's kind of all that matters for this offense. They need to get the job done. If they put 18, 20 points on the table, that defense can carry them to championships. Now, a lot of talk has been done about the offensive line of Houston Texans, and rightfully so. They have let go, traded away Laremy Tunsil, which fetches them extra second round this year, and it was like, your offensive line was already pretty bad. What are you doing getting rid the best player that you have on that O-line? And it looked like a horrendous start. But as the year progressed, they have developed to a functional unit. And for 26, overall, the offensive line seems to be kind of fixed, or at least we have a plan. The plan is Aaron Tertiary showed enough to be team's left tackle. In terms of right tackle, you have Trent Brown, you have Braden Smith, 2 veterans sign in, and there is also potential for Blake Fisher to still reemerge and return some of the investment that second round should fetch. And in terms of tackles, again, does this group get you excited? No, but it's functional. In terms of the interior, I would up my urge. Not a tier 3 like the tackles, but it's a tier 2 for me, because they have invested here, bringing Erin Graham for hefty payday. And Chad Peterson is there, Jake Andrews is there, they brought Wyatt Teller. A lot of these guys are 1-year band-aids, and I think you need to start building something clear in terms of years to come. At the same time, it's just a tier 2 need in my opinion, because the room should absolutely function for 26. So the offense, despite not looking the most amazing, should get the job done. It is solidly set. There's a lot of veteranship. It's not a long-term project, but for 26 it's set, and definitely they have options to strategically invest towards the future of this unit. Now, they have, in my eyes, one of the wildest cards in terms of CJ Stroud, of course, but also in terms of Tank Dell. This dude is amazing. Unfortunately, his years in NFL has been hindered by 2 gruesome injuries. And yeah, his body frame is just tiny. It's kind of not meant to be in the NFL environment. And you don't know what are you going to get out of Tank Dell. I am hopeful that Texans will realize that the best use, in my opinion, for Tank Dell is just high leverage situation. Give him 10 snaps a game. Have this as a long-term thing. I think it should be something that Tank Dell considers himself. 10 to 15 snaps. The snaps that you absolutely have to get. Get him on the field on those ones, because I still think he's going to be amazing in them. But his body just won't hold up if you give him the full workload. So I wonder if this is going to be. Another, in my eye, a wild card for this team is Sheldon Rankings, because he was damn freaking awesome. And when you consider what they have in terms of the defense, having one of the veterans really rise to the occasion last year and provide that grit from interior was crucial for the success of this defense. Though in past years he used to have like really good year and then it was not perfect. So let's be hopeful that this is not the year when he downgrades back to just being a solid player. Now, in terms of their interior of the defensive line, I think there is a definite potential looking forward and adding into this group, because you have a bunch of players, whether it's Sheldon Rankings, Tommy Togiai, Logan Help, they are there. Does this room has a difference maker? Sheldon was there for last year, but looking forward, his age and his history, I don't think he's going to be that going forward. And you would always need another body, because the room is good. It's not particularly like big. That also is, in my opinion, true about the best room they have, and potentially one of the best rooms in the NFL, their edge. Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson, what a freaking interior. I was kind of surprised that they brought Daniel Hunter to an extension, because I felt like perhaps trading him could have been the more long-term plan. But it's so hard to give away top 10 edge rusher, because that's what Daniel Hunter is. And the scary part is, he is number 2 on this team. Will Anderson is truly emerged as like elite type of guy. Top 5 defensive player of the year. He had a freaking amazing year. This duo is staggeringly good. You need some backups. You don't really have them in this room. So despite the clear amazingness that is this room, I have this as a tier 2 need for the Texans, because the depth is lacking. That's not the case for their linebackers. They have clear plan. Aziz Al-Shaair is the leader of this defense. D'Amico Ryans loves him. He plays hard. SF, sometimes too dirty. But, I don't think he necessarily did cross the line of Guys that I would hate. I don't like some of his attempts, but at the same time, I don't think he's necessarily horrendous and like super dirty player. He's on the verge though. They also have EJ Speed and Henry though. So you have experience, you have young linebacker too that showed some good promise in seasons past. And then the tier 3 need, in my opinion, that could be bumped up to tier 2 because in this year we have several good linebackers rating up for the draft. So if you want to think more about the long term and truly have this as a strength of this team, with D'Amico Ryans as a leader of this team, former linebacker, maybe this is a year where they will make a big splash in terms of linebacker. Speaking of playing hard as F, Jalen Petrie, one of the best slot corners / safeties in the league. I just love the guys that perhaps don't have the best physical traits, are not like Nick Emanvoris of the world, not like the biggest or strongest guys, but they are playing like that. I like that about Jalen Petrie, I like it about Devon Witherspoon. And he is part of, I dare to say, the best corner trio in the bloody league. Derek Stingley, Cameron Lassiter, and Jalen Petrie. Derek Stingley, top 5 corner in the game. Cameron Lassiter, one of the best number 2s, I would say top 3 in terms of pure number 2s. And he plays perfectly well of Derek Stingley because his one issue is long-term speed. But with the safeties, being able to, shadow him much more because on the other side is Derek freaking Stingley, that main weakness won't get exposed. This is like truly tremendous room, and they even do have some depth. And I feel like this is again not an area that they should invest in. With safeties, slightly more different because Kellen Bullock is a long-term plan. He is a very good starting safety. Reed Blankenship gives you enough for this year if he does not play like last year because that was horrendous for the Eagles. So for now, they feel like set. Going forward, that room could get even better, and I feel like this is a tier 2 need for the Texans where you could look and add some of the higher draft picks. Now, we've covered this whole team, and the scary part is I truly do not believe that there is a single position on this team that they need to invest first round pick in, which to me is a tier 1, where like this justifies a premium position, which has massive implications for the Texans because that gives them freedom to just play the board. They have needs in terms of the defensive line, safeties. I think building something more in terms of the offensive line, especially in terms of interior, absolutely. But there is no clear weakness on this team. Every room is at least functional. Several of them are freaking amazing. And one way or the other, it will probably all come down to CJ Stroud again. It is a scary position to be. But you also should be scared of Texans because if CJ plays close to what he was in year 1, this is a championship level team.